Welcome back to the Fin Factor. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Devereaux.
And this is episode 243. Devereaux, thank you for joining us.
I appreciate it.
Paul is sick today, so Devereaux was able to jump in. And,
Interesting day he chose. Maybe he just wanted to have some adult beverages, maybe just skip on his responsibilities here, but that's okay. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Sick.
Yes.
You'll see him in the comments, though, because nothing's going to stop Paul from going off on Will Smith. So he will be in the comment section. But thank you for joining us. We had 3 games this week.
Yes.
One against Nashville, one against Chicago, one against Washington. So we'll break down those and we'll go through some other stuff here and some other stats, team stats, prospects, and a bunch of other stuff. Before we do that, please like and subscribe. I know it's really annoying when you hear every YouTuber saying that, but the subscription actually helps us. It doesn't give us any money, it doesn't do anything else. It just helps us kind of grow and get us out there. So if you could like and subscribe, that'd be fantastic. You can also follow us on socials. You can join us in the super chat. You can Venmo us at the Fin Factor on Venmo, and if you can give us a tip, and we will read your comments. And if we don't get it now, if we get it later, we'll read it on the next show.
There you go.
Here we go. First game this week. Sharks played against Nashville.
Tuesday game.
There you go. Tuesday game, home game. I don't know if you noticed, Tuesday home games do not attend well for the Sharks. There's a lot of people that don't go to the Tuesday games. The normal games are, the normal nights for Sharks games at home are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Tuesday nights are rough. I think people are just tired, don't want to commute.
I just came from work on Monday. Yeah. Soccer practice with my kids. And I'm like, okay.
I remember,
I'll look for those.
Yeah, when Marshall and I had season tickets, and when there was 3 games at night, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you're like, oh my God, there's so many games this week to go to. It's kind of tiring. Anyway, getting off topic already, and we're 2 minutes in. Going to this game, Forsberg scores a filthy wrister.
He used to be on my fantasy team, I think, like 6 years ago, and then something happened, and of course, he just took off that very next year.
Of course.
And he's been a fantastic goal scorer since then. Yeah, it was a crazy shot.
Yeah.
Top, right over Gorgiev's right shoulder. It was, I mean, this much space.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. They're on the power play. Sharks are on the penalty kill.
Of course.
And he's kind of skating around along the boards and kind of in, I don't want to say no man's land, but the defense was kind of holding off because they were holding their position. Yeah. But they gave him a lot of time and a lot of space.
So much time.
And he
just wheeled around. He was like, oh, I could just do this. And he just...
That was a elite goal scorer's goal. It reminded me, actually, of Will Smith. And not to harp on Paul because he's in there.
Go on.
But, no, because Will Smith, Paul even says this, you give Will Smith time and space, you're gonna get scored on. And this is exactly what Forsberg did. So I think Will Smith could be a future Forsberg. Maybe not quite as prolific scorer, but that wrist shot looked very similar because we've seen Will Smith do that. In fact, we're going to see Will Smith do that later.
F. Okay.
Triple F, yes. So anyway, Sharks go down 1-0, and then Stamkos gets another goal. Now, it's funny about Nashville. Nashville is having a disastrous season. They are the bottom 5 of the league. They're going to have a top 10 pick this year.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Okay. I kind of think the league might try to... I don't feel like they have never had the number 1 pick. So I kind of see if it's the Sharks, Chicago, and Nashville, I think they might try to give Nashville like, okay, I mean, if we get it, awesome. If Chicago gets it, I'll hate that. It's rigged. But if Nashville gets it, I could see them maybe giving them something because they haven't had one.
Who?
Nashville, like number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, I don't think they have they? I don't really care. Nashville is like... To me, Nashville's the little brother that always tries to be cool and hang with the Sharks because the Sharks have played them so many times over the years in the playoffs and always beat them. Yeah. And they just weren't quite there. I mean, now obviously it's a different story. Yeah. Nashville's been better than the Sharks, but I just don't give them the time of day usually.
No, they're very easy. They're very forgettable. Like they never made a Stanley Cup final. Obviously, they haven't won one. Maybe they've gone to 1 or 2 conference finals, but yeah, they're always that team. You're like, oh yeah. They like throw fish or like have a drum or like
they're there.
Yeah. And they're yellow. Okay, Predators. Huh?
Yeah. They're currently 3rd to last. So it's only the Sharks and only Chicago are worse than them. So they are in a top 3 pick, not top 5 pick.
I'm just saying.
That is disastrous. Now, when the Sharks played them earlier in the season, Nashville was on a big skid, scoreless, just having a tough go. Then they played the Sharks, and it's like they woke up. And I feel like this game they did the same
get right.
Yeah,
you're going to get right.
Stamkos is on like a 15-game scoreless streak. like just doing nothing, and then he plays the Sharks and gets multiple points. So in this game, again, he scores a goal. Another goal on the power play, and I'll get into this later. The Sharks' penalty kill has been atrocious.
Yes.
It's just going downhill. Now, you take away Granlund, you take away Cunnin, you take away all of your penalty killers, right? Yeah, obviously, something's going to give, and that's what is giving right now. On the other side, though, the power play has been surging, and we'll get into that later. But
there we go. Some positives coming soon.
Absolutely. Always highlighting the positives on the Fin Factor. That's what we do. Otherwise, it's a very long season if you don't.
Extremely
it's awful.
Disappointing.
Yes.
Downright embarrassing.
All right. Down 2-0. Someone scores their very first NHL goal.
And who was that?
Brand new Patrick Giles is how you say it.
Barracuda, right?
No, they just traded for him. So he came in from...
Okay, you're right.
I'm blanking on where he came from. Man, this is
Paul. See, put down that adult beverage. You should be here.
Florida Panthers. He came from the Florida Panthers.
Okay.
So he looks like a guy that's going to be a pretty good fourth liner for the Sharks, and he gets his first NHL goal here, which is fantastic. Now, more importantly, though, 14 seconds later, the next shift.
And it's the...
This is the second line. Graf, Wenberg, Smith.
Yes.
This is where...
Smith.
Yes. When Wenberg goes in the corner on the forecheck, they dump the puck in. Wenberg goes after it, digs it out, gets it to Smith. Smith quickly gives it over to Graf, who just puts it away, just buries it.
Yeah. Okay, I remember this now. Yeah.
And good on Graf. Graf, great positioning. This kid is fantastic. Now I'll go back to this and say this again. This is the reason Fabian Zetterlund was expendable in a way, that they were open to trading. They weren't looking to trade him, but they were open to trading him because Graf has taken over that third line winger spot that Zetterlund's kind of on. I don't know if you've seen what Zetterlund has done in Ottawa.
I have not.
Oh,
sorry.
I feel so bad for him.
Oh.
He's buried. He went from 13, 14 minutes a night in the Sharks to 8. He's basically on the fourth line.
8 minutes?
And he's gotten no points.
Is he in the doghouse? What happened?
No, he's getting less shifts. He's getting less ice time because they have other players. They're just not giving him a chance to succeed, and it really sucks.
Wow, that's rough.
I feel bad for him. But anyway, Graf made him expendable.
Yeah.
Because he is a very smart player. I think Graf is a fantastic third-line player because very, very high hockey IQ, knows where to be positioning-wise. Obviously, we saw a couple goals this week of him doing exactly that.
Yeah.
And he can score. He has a scoring punch. So Graf is a kid that a lot of good teams need as their third-line winger.
Yeah.
Scorer.
He has a good motor, too. Like, he does all the little... Obviously, if you're the third line, third or fourth, you already know your role, right? But he does those things at such a high level. That's why he's getting so much ice time. And just to your point, Aaron, made him expendable because, well, he's the future.
Yes. Yeah. It sucks. I like Zetterlund. I liked his game, but it's just unfortunate that I don't think he was going to fit in the plan in the long term because there's so many up-and-coming prospects already.
Yeah.
And he is young. He's still a prospect. He's not even hitting his peak yet, Zetterlund. So he's going to have a career in the NHL still.
He'll be fine.
I'm hoping Ottawa kind of utilizes him a little bit better. I just feel bad for him.
Once they find out how to integrate him more into their system, it'll work out for him.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
All right, anyway, going back to this game, later in the game, Georgiev with a miscue behind the net.
Gosh.
Miscommunication between him, Mook Medulin, and I think it was Ferraro on the other side. He gets the puck behind the net. The defensemen kind of both go in the corners expecting him to play it, and you just kind of...
Literally right behind him.
Yeah.
Player comes, and then he hesitates for a split second. So he sees, I made a mistake. The Sharks defenseman, I think it's probably McDoulan, is like the closest one. He can't get it. It looks like Georgiev's looking right at it and saying, I made a mistake. And then he just hesitates, and then player comes.
Came in and took
and then
it.
bam.
Yeah.
I'm like, you could see, we all could, it just like time was going so slow. And of course, on my fantasy team, so I'm like, can you please do something?
Wait, who is? Georgiev?
Yes!
Oh, that's brutal.
We'll get to my other goalies later in the show. So
we're actually playing each other this week, I believe.
Oh, in the play?
Right? Yeah, for playoffs.
He's gonna win. He always beats me in the playoffs.
I don't know, man.
Stop.
The way my team is stacked, it's not looking so good for the week.
Hopefully, good.
Anyway, all right, back to this game. Sharks end up losing this game.
Yeah.
Now going back to last week, you weren't here. Obviously, it was me and Paul, but I had said I think the Sharks have 2 wins this week, one against Nashville, one against Chicago. I felt like they could have beat Nashville. I still think they could have beat Nashville. But it's just, again, going back to these stupid, silly mistakes that they just add up, right?
This fits the MO for the whole season. This is the
Absolutely.
game. Each game this week followed a different script.
Yes.
Every single game this week had a different script. But this one followed the more traditional that we're used to. Maybe give up a lead, and then you kind of fight back, and then immediately you give the lead away, and then you're gassed, you're tired, you're fighting uphill a second time or a third time, and not having enough in the tank. I think they gave up 5 power plays this game, 2 power play goals. That's not good enough.
Yes.
We just
awesome.
stunk.
Yes, they just stunk.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Excuse me. It was 5 power plays, and they went 2 for 5 on the power play. Just not good. And someone made a good point that they got rid of both their best goalies. Vanacek and Blackwood are both gone off the Sharks, which doesn't help the penalty kill.
No,
either.
When you subpar now,
or
just a lower quality of echelon of goalie to cover up those mistakes that are happening in front of you, from the front to the back, and then last line of defense, you're gonna give up more goals.
Forgiev in net is not helping.
I didn't know if I could use that term or not here, but
absolutely,
I always think about that because
yes.
It fits. It fits. Not today or not on Tuesday, but I know it usually fits.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next game. Sharks versus Chicago. This is actually the first time that Bedard and Celebrini are able to face off against each other because Celebrini was hurt the first time they played this season. So first time to play, pretty cool because they did an opening face-off, very picturesque moment for future stars of the NHL. And Bedard wins the draw, which is the only thing he's going to do this whole game.
He'll get on the stat line for another way.
Right, yes. So Celebrini ends up with a goal here. The Sharks looked really good in this game, and I don't know if it's because they looked really good because they were playing well, or if Chicago is just a bigger dumpster fire than the Sharks.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Like they seem to come out. They just gave up that loss, right? They lose 3-2 at home against Nashville. And then this game, I feel like they knew we're better than this team. We should win this game because they came out playing well, moving their skates. Chicago looked awful. They looked awful.
Very sloppy.
Yeah.
They
just don't have enough playmaking. They don't have enough. They don't have enough.
Bedard is a very different player than Celebrini. Celebrini is kind of all over the ice and makes other people better. And also when he's not scoring, doing good things.
Tracking back,
puck.
getting hit, putting in hits. Yeah.
Bedard, not so much. He's a goal scorer, one of the best goal scorers. But when he's not scoring goals, like when he's in the penalty box, right?
Yes.
He's not helping. I mean, nobody's helping when they're in the penalty box. But
I know what you meant.
Yeah.
So to your point, are you trying to say that he needs the puck to be on a stick to influence the game?
Somebody to give him the puck.
Yeah.
Right? Where Celebrini creating more
He's doing
things.
all the little, yes. Okay.
And Celebrini is a scorer, but he's also a creator. Like, he's more of a playmaker.
A creative,
and helping others around him as well, making them better. I just don't see that out of Chicago's game. They also don't have it's crazy to think, right? The amount of pieces that are surrounding Bedard are not as good as the pieces that the Sharks have with Celebrini.
I know.
And they don't have, and I kept talking about this, Will Smith and Celebrini together, going through their rookie season together, is helpful. For one, obviously the chemistry on the ice is fantastic. But outside of that, you have somebody else to lean on.
A number two. There's no one else for Bedard. It's him.
Right. He's by himself. Like,
figure it out.
So last week, I don't know if you saw the sleepover with Toffoli, right?
Yes.
That's fun. They're having a great time. All smiles. They're excited on the bench. Then you go to Bedard, and Bedard is sad Bedard. And
all by himself.
What happens in this game? He gets a 10-minute misconduct.
He did.
For talking to the refs. Now, it wasn't one thing that he said. It wasn't like... It was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes, it was accumulation.
So it was during the whole game. I think he was just chirping and just angry, not getting calls from the ref. And the ref at that point was just like, "I've had enough."
Get out.
10-minute, because you could see, like, I went back and watched. I'm like, I don't see him talking on the bench really, or even on the ice during that play because he got tripped up.
Yeah, and so like there's a play. It looks like at first glance I was like, oh, I think he got
tripped.
Yeah, it looked like he got tripped, and then they replayed it again. It's like I think his own teammate kind of.
No, I think it was Desharnais because he's huge.
Oh,
dude.
yeah,
He's 6 foot.
Okay.
So there he goes. There's Desharnais. He's a mean looking mug. We got to put a Sharks jersey on that guy.
Work on that.
It was media day yesterday. Was it yesterday or today?
Okay, so maybe
they did the team photo.
Updated.
Yes.
Everything should be
so
updated.
we might have an updated picture later.
Okay.
But anyway, going back to that play, he got tripped. It looked like he got tripped. And I bet you it was a trip.
Okay.
I think it was a trip. But I think the referees had enough already at that point of him chirping all game that they're like, you know what? Rookie. He's not a rookie, but,
this will learn you. Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut and be respectful. Maybe you'll get those calls. Yeah. So I think that was part of it as well. I think it all
I don't want to hear about freaking fragile, okay?
I think it all played into it. And the ref sent him to the box for 10 minutes. And it was, 11 minutes left in the game at that point.
Yeah, so he's done.
He made it for he got on the ice for kind of the last push.
But by then, the game's already over.
Right. So, Bedard in the box, that, again, going back to the sleepover. Will Smith and Celebrini having fun. Bedard's pissed and frustrated. Now this is his second year losing. Mm-hmm. So, I do have a little thing that I pulled up here. This was from, I'd sent it to you earlier, I believe.
Oh, yes. Because he got...
Here, I got it open now.
Yeah, because he got another game misconduct in the Vancouver game.
The following game.
Yep.
He got another 10-game misconduct. This is not 10-game misconduct. Not game misconduct, just a 10-minute misconduct.
Yeah.
So he had to go in the box for 10 minutes.
This one was more egregious. This one was rough. I felt like this one was
weird. It was kind of weird. But I think, correct me if I'm wrong, super producer Jason, referees kind of have a small circle.
I could see that.
Right?
Yes.
And they all know what's going on.
They have a call.
Yeah, they know. They know what's up.
They put out memos. Yeah.
Right. But Celebrini not being respectful to the referees, it's going to come bite you in the end.
Bedard.
Sorry,
yes.
Not Celebrini. Bedard. Thank you for giving me.
Oh, I have a button for that.
Oh, no.
I can't lie. It was, a lot last, month. And
So, Jeff Merrick on the Daily Faceoff went back to an interview they had with Sidney Crosby semi-recently.
Okay.
And asking Sidney Crosby, looking back at yourself as a rookie, how are you, what's the difference between you then and now?
Your temperament. How did you went about
Just in general. In general, what was the difference between the rookie, looking back at yourself as a rookie, what's different between then and now? And he brought it up, the refs, the way he treated the refs. Because he was saying, we're supposed to win the Stanley Cup. We're the favorite going into the season. We had all these big signings, and we lost our first 9 games. Mm-hmm. I remember it was really hard for me knowing that up to that point I've been on winning teams growing up, and we did what we were supposed to do, and that was the first time I really kind of felt like, oh, you know what's happening here? It's the refs and stuff. I think it's frustration. It kind of showed. I look back and I think, it's just one of those, something that I wasn't immature, and it just kind of happened, and I would definitely apologize to every ref back then if I could. So, same thing. Now, Crosby got this reputation, I think, early on about being a crybaby.
Yes.
And he's self-admitted.
Especially compared to Ovechkin, right?
Right.
Ovechkin seems like,
right.
And then Sid the Kid, right? And all the crybaby stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So imagine looking at these future stars, Bedard, Celebrini, Will Smith. They're all up-and-coming stars. Every team they've been on, they've been by far the best player, not even on their team, but in the league, right? Celebrini was the best in NCAA. Bedard was the best everywhere else. So, it's hard for them to come growing up. You're winning everything. Then you come to the NHL and you're doing everything that you've always done.
The same.
And
same
you're not
template,
winning.
same everything.
Like Crosby just said, we were on a 9-game losing streak. We're doing everything we're supposed to do. We have all these big name signings. We have a good team. 9-game losing streak. That's brutal. The Sharks, same thing. Chicago, same thing. Bedard is now in his second losing really bad season in Chicago. And it doesn't look like they're getting help.
No.
To me, I feel like the Sharks have a better communication, I think, as well.
As to
with
the plan.
Celebrini. Right, as the plan.
And he's also seeing it. He's seeing it play
Here's
out.
the players that we have up and coming, which we'll get into in a little bit later. It's very different. And again, I love following Chicago's rebuild because they did it so differently in the Sharks. They did a total fire sale.
Burn it all down.
Get everyone gone.
Scorched earth.
Whereas Greer took his time and slowly took pieces away
Little
and
by
slowly
little.
brought stuff in. And even the trades, he wasn't going after blue chip prospects in some cases. Like Mook Badulin and Zetterland and a draft pick versus one player that's a blue chip,
that's
right?
supposed to be,
So it's it's fun to watch and to kind of monitor over the coming years to see who's going to dig out of this hole quicker. I'm still convinced that Chicago is going to be, San Jose is going to be better than Chicago coming out quicker than Chicago is.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Chicago just traded their defenseman, Seth Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Right? To Florida. That was their captain. That was like...
Yeah, we don't need him.
Their cornerstone. But, like, that's their defenseman that was supposed to be there forever, and they traded him. Like, it's like... I don't know. So, yeah.
And then this game, Graf had 2 goals.
Graf had 2 goals.
He could have had a hat trick.
They were trying. They
hit the post, and I think he also just couldn't get a shot. But yeah, he could have had a hat trick.
He was close. Friend of the show. We interviewed him on that
I know.
show. It's fantastic. Friend of the show, Colin Graf. He also got a hat, and he really enjoyed the hat. And we gave him Girl Scout cookies too, and he loved those as well.
Do you remember what box you got him?
What did we do? Thin Mints,
okay.
Peanut butter.
Oh, you got him more than one?
We gave him 3 boxes.
Okay.
Thin Mints, peanut butter, and what was the other one, Jay? I don't remember. I think it was the Tagalogs. Tagalog.
Oh, yeah, that is okay.
Tagalogs.
Yeah.
Those ones. Anyway, totally off topic here. Will Smith, goal and assist. Colin Graf, 2 goals.
He's a good player.
This like... The Sharks look like they obviously were the better team than Chicago, and they look to be a little bit more in control than Chicago in this whole game. Granted, you take Bedard out for 10 minutes, that's going to help, right? But
they were already losing before.
That's on him. Yeah. So the Sharks, for the bottom of the league, right,
are the best.
Are competitive. They look good against Nashville, who's 3rd, like 2 spots above them. They beat Chicago, who's 1 spot above them.
There you go.
So I think. The Sharks look great, and I was excited to going to the next game against Washington, and that was a little eye-opening, wasn't it?
It sure was. So there was someone sent me a picture of, because it was a day game. It was a 2 p.m. start time Saturday. Obviously, less time to rest, less time to recuperate and sleep between the Thursday night game. And I don't know if they do this a lot at the Tank. I don't go to as many games as I used to. But there was a special drink that they had, and it was called Capital Punishment. And it was vodka, Sprite, grenadine, and like lemon. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of, I don't know if you're trying to say, it can be worded, it can go both ways. Are you trying to say they're going to influence and put capital punishment on you? Or are you trying to inflict capital punishment on the Capitals? And we already know how that went.
3-0 real quick in the first period.
Yeah, in the first period.
This team, Washington, is the difference between playing Chicago, who is second to last,
dead in the water,
and Nashville, 3rd to last, versus Washington, who is 2nd in the league, 1st in the Eastern Conference. This team, to me, was a surprise team. I think a lot of people considered them going into the season kind of like how Pittsburgh is, where they're aging out their guys and they're fighting for a playoff spot, kind of a bubble team. Yeah. That's what they were expecting Washington. Washington was like, no, we are.
And Ovechkin missed a month.
Yes.
He had a broken leg. They could have been...
he could have broken the record already.
Yeah, I think he already would have. But yeah.
Absolutely.
On my fantasy team.
He scored a goal. Ovechkin scored a goal late.
Yes.
And now he is 8 away.
8 away. That's crazy.
7 away from tying it, right? And 8 from taking it over.
That's crazy.
Absolutely amazing. I whenever Ovechkin came into town, I always wanted to go to those games, when I had tickets way back when. And it's fantastic to see. I didn't know this. There's a story out there. He was a Sharks fan as a kid.
Oh, no. Okay,
so somebody, I don't know I think it was his dad. I think this is the story that just came out. I have it right here. I learned what the NHL was when my parents gave me a San Jose cap when I was 12 or 13 years old. Sorry, this is Protas.
Okay.
From Washington. And then Ovechkin said, I was a San Jose Sharks fan when I was a teenager. Good memories. He loved watching Owen Nolan play for Team Teal.
Wow.
Yeah. And in 2016, in an interview, he said, actually, it's a funny story. One of my teammates back then wore a hat with a shark, and we were like, what is that? Because we didn't know the team. And he said, it's a team over in San Jose. So I have a hat, I have a hoodie, and like a jacket.
Wow.
And Ulf Dahlin, I remember my dad gave me an Ulf Dahlin jersey. It was on my wall. That was kind of fun. That was my favorite player growing up, was Ulf Dahlin. My first, Sharks favorite player.
Focused on just okay.
It's like, I have an Ulf Dahlin jersey as well that I used to wear all the time to Sharks games.
Was it over your bed?
No. I bought it on eBay, and wore it to games recently,
okay.
like in the last 10 years.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it. So you'd already seen Ovechkin play several times.
Oh yeah. This is going.
You think
way
double
back.
digits? You think you've seen him 10 games maybe?
Probably less because they only came once a year.
That's
and even
true.
back then, they changed the schedule. They only came every other year.
That's right.
Which
Only
I
recently.
hated. Yeah. I was like, this is really
How are we
stupid.
supposed to see these players?
Yeah. And it was Crosby and Ovechkin, right? They only
Yeah.
came once every other year. I was like,
Yeah,
this
that's
is
weird.
lame. At that time, they were at the peak.
Yeah.
So they thankfully changed that. But I did get to see Ovechkin at least a handful of times.
That's good.
Which is fantastic. I don't know how many goals he scored, but I always went in going, I want to see him score 2 goals and the Sharks win 3-2, so that the Sharks still win.
I can keep my
but
hat
still
on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I was there for some of those goals, which is kind of
Okay,
cool
good.
to think
Still
of.
counts.
You know?
That counts.
Yeah, greatest goal scorer, about to be the greatest
Yeah,
goal scorer
that's
ever.
crazy.
He is. He's amazing. So.
But yeah, 3-0
that's-
to start the first. I mean, at the end of the first period, and you just see. I don't know if it was the start time. I don't know if they were just tired. But you could just tell they just could. They
It's
didn't
a
have
difference.
it. They
It's a
didn't have
difference
it.
between
Yeah.
Washington being a team at the top
Movies.
versus.
I mean, they're
They're and in this right now in this part of the season, they need points. They
Yeah.
need to be. They need to win the race.
They know they have
ahead.
that motivation to. We got especially we're playing the Sharks. We got to beat. Come on.
And they got the motivation to get Ovechkin his goals.
Yes.
So
This season.
yes,
Oh man.
it was.
This season could be crazy.
Yeah. So this game was bad. It ended up 5-1. Celebrini did get a goal.
Yes.
At the end, him and I think it was Toffoli was the assist on it, but it was his 50th point and his 21st goal of the season, which is amazing.
That's a great
considering
balance.
He
21,
missed 12 games.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that in a little bit. But roll call. Tell us what city you are watching from, and do you think that Chicago or San Jose rebuild is going to be going better? I think I should have asked this earlier. But
Paul, are you in
I'm asking
Ireland?
now.
Where are you? Where are you really in San Jose, Paul?
He's checking in from a pub in Ireland.
I know. A distillery.
Maybe-
outside.
Yeah, we might miss him. His internet might cut out soon. All right, so we'll wait for those to come in. Debbie also had a good question. What was your first sweater or jersey?
Wow. I hope that I'm not kicked off the show or asked to politely leave. I actually don't own a hockey jersey.
No,
I don't. I've never owned one.
we can change that
Moved
Make a
on.
bet.
Okay. Oh no.
if you can choose. All right, what will be your first jersey if and when you get one? Is it gonna go old school? Is it gonna go new school?
No,
Is it
I'll
gonna
go old.
Yeah,
Okay, this is obviously recency bias. I'm sorry. I'll go Greer.
Greer.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
He was here for 2-3 seasons.
And he's
Are
the
you gonna
GM.
do the half?
The
suit,
half. I
half
might be a little
jersey
bit out of my budget. Little custom work right there. A little
You can
half
see
and
it?
half.
Yeah, it's on the screen. You can see it.
But I'm thinking maybe like the old school, like with the.
That'd be cool. He's got the old this. Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you can pull it
Yeah.
out there.
I probably would do something like this.
That was like the silver kind of shoulders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
That'd be
This is
sweet.
great. When did this get here?
Oh, it's been here for a while. That used to be. It's a McFarlane thing, and he was
Oh,
a stand,
yeah.
and he's sitting here with a stick. And
Where's
you
his
can see
stick?
it. Well, my kids really wanted to play with it when they're little.
Okay.
So there's a thing sticking out right here, and I cut it off and chiseled it.
Oh, so it wouldn't.
So it wouldn't stab them.
Stab them,
And
yeah.
they just liked playing with it, and so they were playing with it, and now they're too old to
Oh,
play with it.
stick
So I was
right
like, you
there
know
a
what?
little bit.
He sits on the
I
shelf.
love it. That's
It's like
great.
the elf on the shelf. It's Joe on the shelf.
He's like, come on, you guys, do better.
Yeah. I think you can see him there. Yeah. Oh, he's right in the corner. Right there. Right there, just sitting, chilling. Right next to his puck that we got. Yeah.
Oh, fun to shelf.
Paul said he has a Gregor jersey for you, and it's signed.
Signed by Gregor or you,
Yes,
Paul?
Gregor.
Who signed it?
I got Paul a Noah Gregor jersey because he lost a bet, and he had to
Oh,
wear it to
that's-
Sharks games. And when he was on Ottawa,
That's okay. I
he
do
went
remember.
to the game and asked Gregor to autograph it,
And he did.
and he laughed because I'm sure nobody's ever had a Gregor jersey and nobody's
Outside
ever
of his
asked for an
family.
autograph. Right. So he's now on the team again.
Paul, I don't want to take your pride and joy. Maybe we can see if lightning strikes twice and I can get him to sign a second jersey.
Should do it. He's gonna be like, "Oh, you again? What are you selling these on eBay for
Exactly.
negative money? You're paying people to take this." Oh. All right, some real quick stats that I had for teams here. Since the Four Nations break, the Sharks' power play is 7th in the NHL.
That
It's going
seems very good. Top 10.
30%. Pretty good. Really good. Their PK, though,
Okay.
28th. It's at 68.4%.
That's more in line with where they are in the standings.
Yes, not so good. That's what's hindering them. So had they had not traded, obviously Blackwood.
Yeah, he was going to.
He had to go.
Yeah.
Vanacek, if he was still around, I think he was the better goalie of him and Georgiev.
Yes, and
They
I
do
know.
have-
I know.
Yeah, and they do have Askarov coming up. He was injured. I think he's going to play some down the AHL before he comes up. He'll probably get called up here at the end.
That's good.
But they do want him to stay and play for the playoffs, for the Calder Cup down the AHL.
Good.
level.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
The
So
Barracuda.
what happened was that at the trade deadline, because they traded Vanacek, they didn't get a goalie in return. That kind of put a hole as the backup. So they called up Romanov from the AHL. He's the backup goalie right now. He hasn't played yet, but because he was not on the Barracuda roster at the trade deadline,
Okay.
that's when the cutoff is. Anyone who's on your roster at the AHL, the trade deadline cutoff, same time, 12
Okay.
p.m., is eligible to play in the Calder Cup at the AHL level.
Got it.
But because he was called up to the Sharks, he's not eligible anymore. So now it's Askarov and Carrier?
Carrier, yes.
Carrier, right? I
Yes.
think that's his name. Carrier had just signed a contract with the Sharks. So
Oh,
they signed him to a contract,
okay.
entry-level contract, goes out that night and gets a shutout. What better way to celebrate getting signed than getting a shutout in your debut? I guess I don't know if it's his debut. I think he might have played, but
but
after getting signed and
yeah.
everything, it's crazy, right? Yeah. So that's he might be a better goalie than Romanov. So I think what they're doing is they wanted to keep Askarov down because they wanted him to play for Calder Cup. They want that team to go far in the Calder Cup playoffs.
Yeah, get all that experience, that winning. Yeah.
Yes,
That winning
and
mentality.
we're gonna see some more prospects eventually joining the team because once their junior teams are done with their season, they're eligible to play with the Barracuda
Got it.
or the NHL. They can play the
Yeah,
Sharks too,
anyway,
but
yeah.
they'll probably put them at the Barracuda. But first, before we get to that, let's do Calder Watch.
Okay, go on.
Calder Watch 2025. Here we go. Calder Watch 2025.
Again?
Dun, dun,
No.
dun. Oh,
Don't do it yet.
run it back again.
Up first, we have out of Montreal, defense boy, Lane Hudson, number 48. 66 games played, 4 goals, 48 assists, 52 points, minus 14. One thing I wanted to look up, and I didn't pull it up. And it's going to be too hard.
I know.
How many secondary assists?
26.
Is that right?
Yeah, I looked it up.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome.
'Cause
I looked it up earlier in the week, but I needed to update it for
Okay.
tonight, and I didn't have a chance to.
I checked
so.
tonight and it said 26. Also, he's on my
26.
fantasy team, so I
Right.
kind of care.
What's funny is in our fantasy league, originally when we set up as points, we had a point difference between secondary and primary assists.
Oh, okay.
You remember that? We did it for a year, but it was too hard to kind of look at for stats and for research stuff. So we got.
I'm
rid
sure
of
in
it.
the GM meetings, I can definitely envision some of the GMs not wanting to do that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we don't keep track of that anymore. It was kind of cool though because we valued primary assists more than
A lot
secondary
more, yes.
assists, so that was pretty cool. All right, going into second place, we have our boy Macklin Celebrini, still chasing Lane Hudson. 56 games played. Man, I can't talk today. 21 goals, 29 assists for 50 points, and a sparkling minus 27 on the season.
I've seen worse. It's okay.
That's true. We saw worse last year.
Exactly.
He's still chasing Lane Hudson here. He's 2 points behind him, but the points per game is probably more important. He's at .89. Lane Hudson's at .79. And in third, we have in Philadelphia, who just played tonight. We had to update the just the games played stat because he got nothing. Matvey Michkov out of Philadelphia, 20 goals, 27 assists, 47 points, minus 16. However, his last 5 games, nothing but goose eggs.
Ooh.
He has not scored.
Yikes.
Coming out of the break, he was pretty hot. I think he had 8 points in 5 games or something like that, and then just cooled off. So, yeah, he's actually on 5 games, no points scored. Whereas Macklin has 5, right? 5 points in 5 games. Lane Hudson's actually 4 points in 5 games.
Not bad at all.
Not bad. But I still think Macklin's going to catch Lane Hudson. Assuming no injuries, I think he's going to be above him in the standings.
I think so, too. He just seems to play more consistently. Obviously, points per game are much higher. And then as they get, acclimated with some of the new players, I can just see them turning it on, and hopefully my guy gets a few more points. Hopefully this week, because I want to beat Aaron. But I'll take a loss if it means the Sharks. If Macklin gets the Calder Cup, I'll eat that one.
And we don't have a graphic for this, but right behind Matvei Michkov, who is, I wouldn't say catching him, but he's making it close.
If I had to guess, is it Will Smith?
Will Smith.
What do you know?
Coming up from the bottom. He has 13 goals, 22 assists for 35 points. So he's 12 points behind Michkov. But he surpassed Cutter Gauthier. I'm not going to say it like Paul does, with the French accent, who has 34 points. So he is sole possession of 4th, which is amazing. He also has 5 points in his last 5 games.
Yeah, they've been working really well together.
Ever since the break.
Yeah.
Since the Four Nations break, those two have been... They needed a break, right? Who knew?
They're young. They're kids. They're young.
They're kids, yeah.
They're not used to this grind, like you've been saying. Like, they're not used to this schedule, playing every other day, and the high level of competition that you're playing against. You're not going to play against Chicago every week, every game. You're going to play against a Winnipeg Jets, maybe a Rangers team, or even a Boston team, or even teams that are lower in the standings this year, but just have that veteran grit that are just going to give it to you, and just know that these are points we should be taking from the San Jose Sharks.
Yeah.
So yeah, the break, also the sleepover, I'm sure helped.
Yeah. They're keeping it light. They're keeping it fun. They're not wanting out of San Jose. They're not.
Good. That's right.
Yeah. It's I don't know. It's still fun. They're having a good time.
It is. It is.
All right. Well, thank you for checking on those Lane Hudson secondary assists.
Oh, I needed to.
All right, now we're going to switch gears. We're going to go to look at some of the prospects.
Let's go.
The first one we're going to highlight, first round pick, 11th overall from last year, Sam Dickinson. Sam Dickinson is playing for the London Knights in the OHL, and he woke up this morning tied for the record for defenseman points, tied with... Who was it? Rick Koravu, who played in 1990-91, and Evan Bouchard, defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers. He played in 17-18. Took them 67 games to get to 87 points.
67, okay.
So he was celebrating today, and now this is the funny thing that happened. They retroactively gave him a point from a game in February.
Not even this month?
February, not even from this month, from February.
The audit logs were lost for 6 weeks? What happened?
I saw the play. It was kind of a... he's kind of stripped the puck away from an attacker coming in. He was in the offensive zone. They were trying to break out. He stripped it away at the blue line. Someone tried to pass it, and it bounced somewhere, and it went to one of his team's players. And it was a 2-on-1. They scored. So they didn't give him a secondary assist, and then they went back and gave him a secondary assist.
Okay.
So retroactively, without playing today, he became the record holder, and it's one of the most boring celebrations ever. Here's a picture of him. Well, here's a picture that they put on for breaking the record, and then here's a picture of them that they put up here of him on the exercise bike when they weren't even playing today, holding up the 88 for the 88 points that he
got a piece of paper, right?
broke the record. Yeah. Here, hold this up.
Sloppy. Look at that. Look how sloppy that is.
Yeah. Maybe he's just a Brent Burns fan and was just excited, and that's his jersey that he wants to wear when he comes to the Sharks. No, wrong guy.
He's mad at us. Okay, I'm sorry. I love the graphic. I love it. That's great.
But what this kid is doing, he has now in 54 games, he has 88 points because he missed some games. Jeez. So it's not even like, it's crazy his points per game. So looking at points per game in the OHL, there's a couple Sharks prospects here.
Let's go.
He's one of them. Sam Dickinson is number 9 on the list for points per game. In all of OHL,
the whole league.
as a defenseman.
Jeez.
Right? Crazy. Right above him in 6th Quentin Musty.
Let's go.
Love
Let's
this
go.
Kid. Another guy broke his hand, came back, so he missed a bunch of games.
Jeez.
He wanted to trade out of where he was. I think it was the Sudbury Wolves. Didn't happen. He sucked it up, ended up playing, and he has 30 goals, 29 assists in 33 games.
He's almost averaging a goal a game.
Almost a goal a game. And almost 2 points a game. Above him, leading the OHL, Igor Chernyshov. This kid, second round pick in this last draft. The first pick of the second round. So a late first round,
Yes.
right? Someone that a lot of people were like, he should have gone in the first round. I mean, that's anyone who would be picked second.
Second, especially
right?
the first pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right
Should have
there.
gone in the first round. This kid is blowing it up. He was also hurt. I think he had shoulder surgery. He had something. 18 goals, 30 assists in 20 games. He's averaging more than 2 points per game. In fact, I can't get to
So
it.
if I recall correctly, so Macklin, Dickinson, Chernyshov, all in a row, right?
Not Macklin. Chernyshov is first.
Mm-hmm.
Then
No.
Musty.
Oh no, I'm saying in terms of the picks. Like
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes.
sorry.
Sorry, yes. So when celebrating Dickinson, Chernyshov.
So right now it looks like these are just. I mean,
Mike Greer is his picks in the draft are
okay.
hitting.
I'm gonna do the half. I'll do
They're
the half.
hitting. Yeah, they're hitting on so many picks. Quentin Musty's another one. He was 26th overall the year before.
Yeah.
So a late first round pick, another guy that looks like he should have been
Jeez.
maybe close to top 10, top 15, and instead he went 26th overall.
Well, I'm sure Chicago has some of these same prospects that are tearing it up, right? That are just at the exact same level.
I don't think as many.
Ooh,
I don't
sorry.
think as many. I'm sure they have some.
Oh darn.
Big Money Mike, as Marina just said. Absolutely. Chernyshov is almost a point per period. He's 2.4 points per game right now. You're right. That is almost a point per period. That's bananas.
That's insane.
So we were talking about last year. Yeah, Musty's on a much worse team too. Next season, the Sharks I think they have 20 million in cap space to get to the floor.
Just the floor.
Just the floor. So that's a bare minimum they have to get is either by signing guys or by taking on trades of other contracts to get to that floor. You also have Quentin Musty, who's going to be trying to make the team.
Yes.
You also have Chernyshov, who's going to be trying to make the team. You're also going to have Dickinson that might be making the team. There's a lot of guys. Now, Dickinson is not signed yet. He's not signed to an entry-level contract, but I believe, and someone had hinted at it on Reddit, and they couldn't say for certain, and they couldn't do anything. But it's kind of obvious that he's going to sign this July, right? So he's going to be either on the Sharks. He might bounce around. I don't know what his defensive game looks like. His scoring obviously is not a problem.
No.
It's the defensive side that always would take time. Defensemen take time to acclimate and get used to the speed of the NHL and the spacing.
Getting strong enough and
Absolutely. And this kid is he was very young when he got drafted. He had just turned 18 at the draft. His birthday is in June. So he's still 18 years old. He's turning 19 in June. A 19-year-old, a teenage defenseman. Even Lane Hudson, I think, is older, if I remember correctly. Let me take a look at how old he is. I don't think he's a defenseman.
Is he 20?
He's 21.
Oh, okay. This
So
old
yeah,
man.
he's
an old
older,
man.
right? And he's a very different player. He's very small especially compared to Dickinson. Dickinson's got the size. The thing about Dickinson, he has the NHL size, but he has the NHL speed to go with it. It's a very rare breed.
He's fast.
Yeah. So I'm so excited to see this kid join the team at some point.
Oh, next season.
Possibly next season. Next season is going to be bananas.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here for it.
Be on board. You should be on the bandwagon of the Sharks. The season's going to be short. This season's going to be short. It's going to end quickly. But they're going to be adding probably a top 3 pick at minimum. Because if they lose the lottery, the worst they could do is third overall.
Yes.
So they're adding a top 3 pick. Possibly top number 1 again. They also have another first-round pick thanks to the trade that they made. Oh, I forgot who it is.
Pittsburgh?
Which one it is.
No,
It's not
Dallas?
Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh was last year's.
Okay.
It might be Dallas.
We need Paul Nielsen.
Dallas might have been. Dallas might have been the following year because they have another one, a second one the following year.
They just have so many picks.
They do. They have
hard
a
to
lot of
keep
picks
track.
here.
I mean, just absolutely freaking embarrassing.
It is Dallas.
Embarrassment of riches, yes.
Yeah, it is Dallas.
Okay, Dallas, okay.
So next year they have the Oilers pick. First round pick.
Okay.
And that was the trade for, oh man, I can't even keep track of all these trades that they did.
Yeah,
but
what was that?
they who went to Edmonton? Now I'm blanking.
Would it have been years ago?
No, it was this last trade
just
deadline.
now?
Yeah.
Chat.
Got beat off walls.
Chat. Where are you?
Help us out, chat. Thanks, Peter.
Wallman. It's Jake Wallman. That's what it was.
Wallman, that's right. I forgot he went there.
Man.
That's annoying. Should have got there.
Guys.
So MJ said it for Wallman.
Get
Thank
on
you.
with it.
Wallman, right?
We're working on it. We're working through some things.
I'll just run credit.
Anyway, Chernyshov is going to be probably in the top 6. Another reason why Zetterlund was probably let go. He's a guy that could be in the top 6, definitely in the top 9 of forwards, and it's getting crowded.
It's getting crowded. Yeah, it's just from the bottom. There's that. Hey, we got this. Plus, also these younger prospects, they want to see what they have.
Yes.
Like how low is their floor? How high is their ceiling? I think we kind of. I mean, obviously we've never seen the best of Zetterlund, but I think they probably believe that these guys have a higher ceiling.
Yes, absolutely. Well, they're a higher draft
Yeah.
pick too, right? Higher pedigree.
Yeah, and you
you will.
always want to give those players a chance at least, right?
Yeah.
First round draft pick, we're not just going to bury you behind someone in the 5th round or something.
I mean, they have to earn it for one,
Yeah, true,
which they
true,
are, and they're making
true.
it do. But yes, you're
You
kind
wanna
of
see
gonna.
What's your investment?
Yes.
Were we right, or do we need to cut bait, or yeah?
Yeah. And I think right now the Sharks are hitting on a lot of their prospects, and Greer's even hinted at we're at that point where they're going to start trading some of that draft capital, all those draft picks that they've accumulated, and possibly some prospects for established NHL players from other teams.
That upper echelon player.
Yes. So I think this summer possibly we might see some movement. We might see some guys. Now the salary cap is going up another 4 or 5 million in 1 year. It's a big jump for the NHL because
That does seem like a lot, actually. 4?
they finally caught up. The players paid off all the escrow, the difference
from
COVID years.
Yeah.
So that's jumped. Now the salary cap is going up because of it, because they share the revenue between the owners and the players, and the escrows just makes up the difference. Okay. So now they finally caught up. It jumped up 5. I think it's 4 or 5 million. I can't remember the exact number. I don't even know if they know the exact number, but it's rough.
Okay.
But that's a lot. That
is a lot.
That for the NHL, that's a lot. That's nothing for other
Baseball,
other leagues,
basketball,
right? Yeah,
football.
That's a joke.
we're not talking about that.
Yeah. But the Sharks need to spend even more now to get to that floor, and they have a lot of cap space.
Okay.
So it's looking good for the Sharks to add some really big pieces. Now we are going to see, unfortunately, some prospects go that we're very excited about. I'm hoping Musty is not one of them. I'm hoping Dickinson is not one of them. But you never know what the return is going to be.
True.
So you can't. I will say this to you. You cannot get hooked on players. You can't get.
It's like Game of Thrones.
It's like Game of Thrones. There you go. It's like Game of Thrones.
It's a random
wedding.
Game of Thrones.
We're going to the Red Wedding at the Game of Thrones, if you know what that means. You can't.
All bets are off. Anyone can get it.
Anyone. Anybody can go. The only untouchables I would think are Celebrini, Smith.
Yes.
Maybe Eklund. Even that I don't know. Now, I don't know. I'm sure he is. I would like to say he is.
Yeah, you would.
But I also, as I say to Paul all the time, anybody is tradable.
Yeah. Who are we getting in return?
The price.
He's coming back.
There's always a price. If they meet the price, anybody is tradable.
Just have a conversation. Just have a talk. Yeah, we can talk about it.
Wait, did we trade Paul and we didn't get the call?
Oh,
Right.
sorry.
Future considerations. That's what we traded him for.
Bag of pucks underneath the table.
That's a 6-pack under here. Guinness.
Yeah.
Some Guinness right here. So.
Yeah, you can't get too attached to players. Thank you, Debbie. That's what I was trying to say. Words elude.
It took him so
sometimes.
long to say that.
Well, Debbie said it for me. I couldn't think of what to say. Don't get attached to these players because some of them will be moved.
Yeah.
Even some of the players currently on the roster will get moved.
And as long as the team is winning, we won't care.
Right.
You won't care. Oh, I wish Eklund was here. Oh, we made it to the conference finals. Be like, too bad, sorry.
Zetterlund who?
Exactly.
Yeah. So, look at the stats here. We got Celebrini is leading the team now, 50 points. Right behind him is Eklund, who I think is having a fantastic year. Toffoli up there, 25. He just got his 25th goal.
Was it the empty netter?
The empty netter, which is a
and
beaut.
he missed. He hit the post. I want to say in these last 3 games, he might have hit the post 2 or 3 times. He and Will Smith had. Going back to your Will Smith real fast. Mm-hmm. Will Smith gets into. You watch him play, and he gets into so many great positions, which are like that high percentage. Like, oh man, this is like a high scoring chance, or he gets into, and it just that finishing isn't quite there yet. I think it will get there. But he gets into so many good places where you're just like, oh, that's where you're supposed to be if you want to score a goal or if you want to maybe block off a defender and kind of set up your teammate for a nice pass or something like that. It's just that finishing isn't quite there, but that will get there.
Yeah.
But at least he's getting to the spots that he needs to get to.
He's been on fire.
Yeah, he hit Toffoli just missed so many. And then Graf, obviously, he hit the post. He could have had a hat trick.
Yeah.
They missed. They were close. They were close on scoring a lot more goals. These past 3 games.
Graf has already moved up to 10th in scoring on the Sharks. Granted, they got rid of some guys.
Get out of here.
He's got 4 goals and 5 assists, 9 points in 24 games. I mean, he's not gonna lead the Sharks in scoring, but
of late, like his last 5 games is probably
having that. I'm talking in a year or 2 down the road on the third line. That's a great scoring punch to have as a third line guy.
Yeah,
that's when you get to the playoffs. That's what's going to help you win games. Not
those dirty goals.
Not the top 6 guys. It's the bottom 6 that are going to be the difference makers. And right now the Sharks, they used to be full of nothing but bottom 6 guys. Now they're really filling out the top 6 guys. Yeah,
we remember. They're like, oh, right, this is our top. Okay.
And someone, I think it was JD that posted last year's opening night roster. Not this season, but the season before.
Oh, wow.
Or maybe 2 seasons ago.
That would be a pull. I blocked that out of my mind.
There were 2 guys left on that roster.
Okay. Good.
And I can't even tell you what they were, but I was like, wow, going down memory lane. I'm like, man, these guys.
Wow.
This was an NHL team. This was not good. You could see how they just absolutely
look where they are
tanked.
now. Look where they are now. Just it was a process.
Yes. Oh man.
The more we forgot.
Seriously. Oh, we had some other graphics up here that I forgot to throw up, didn't we?
We want to go back to?
Let's throw out those charts. First, let's do the Sam Dickinson one.
Oh, wow.
These charts are cool. I mean, it's a lot of information. You don't have to read it, word for word. But what this is basically doing is showing Sam Dickinson on the left, showing the comp of who he kind of pairs with, which is Victor Hedman, superstar producer of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
That's me.
He's projected to. So the way you can read these points charts on the left, the D-O NHLE or D0 NHLE is when he got drafted. The points that he put up in the OHL would roughly be equivalent to 25 points in the NHL. This season, the amount of points he's putting up, which was 88 points in the OHL, that's equivalent to about 42 points in the NHL. So had he played in the NHL this season, all season, they would and played similar, right, to how he was playing in the OHL. They would project about 42 points. Now, at the bottom, they show some other comps. See the bubbles there? The star probabilities. When he got drafted, 37% chance he was going to be a star player.
Okay.
That has now jumped to 59%. NHL probability is 72, now it's 77. Star probability, it kind of dropped a little bit, and now it looks like it's jumping up to about 70. And NHLer probability, if he's going to play in the NHL, he is 99.9%. They'll never do 100.
No.
Because you never know.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how you read these charts. Now we have another one here. This is for Chernyshov. They were comparing him to Artemanov.
Perfect. You nailed it.
Yep. Nailed it. Nikita. They're comparing him to Nikita. This kid, they both got drafted at the same time. They both got drafted in the second round. Chernyshov was 33rd overall, and Nikita was 50th overall. Anyway, these two look like they're going to be a steal in the draft. Look at that NHL probability for a second-round pick. It's now 89%, and the star probability is 68%. So more likely than not, he's going to be a star player drafted in the second round. Same with Nikita. Not that he's on the Sharks, but just a good comp that this kid was drafted 50th overall and a star, 68% chance of being a star in the NHL. That is crazy. In fact, his NHL probability is even higher. It's at 99%.
99.
So that's really cool. I like seeing those kind of things. But Chernyshov's thing, his points, comparable points, was about 60 points, which is
that would be phenomenal on this team.
Better than Macklin's celebrating right now. He's got 50 points.
And then also Macklin would have some of those points too. But yeah, they would
Yeah.
just be. Can you imagine inserting 60 points onto this thing?
Paul wants me to look up a Will Smith chart, but I'm not gonna be able to pull it up right now. I'd have to search for it or ask them to do one. So, maybe for next week we'll have one up for you, Paul.
Let's do a Will Smith special.
We'll do a Will Smith special.
0 views.
No, Paul will be. That counts as one.
Right.
I'll watch as well, Paul. We got 2 views. For number 2, Will Smith. Perfect. There you go.
All right. Moving on. This week, only 2 games.
Yeah, there's a lot. They have
There's a break.
like
Yeah.
a 5-day break or something, right?
Yeah, it's
like,
about time because they've been
Yeah.
playing so many games. In fact, they're one of the teams in the league that was. I think they had played like the most games. They just-
up to like this point in the.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, they got 68 games. Most other teams are roughly anywhere between 66 to looks like 69 is the high. So a little bit of a break. Some other teams are going to catch up. So only 2 games this week. First is on Thursday, and that's against the Carolina Hurricanes. We'll have Brent Burns coming back into town.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, he. I don't know. I think he's. He's 39 years old, or he's 40.
Wow.
Now? He might be 40.
That flew. Wow.
Yeah.
I still just think of him as like 33, just forever in my mind for something. But
Well, he acts like it, right?
Yeah.
So what's cool about this game is he's gonna tie or break Patrick Marleau's Ironman streak. And what's crazy about Patrick Marleau and Brent Burns, they never missed a game in their 30s. They played into their 40s, and they never missed. Their Ironman streak goes from their late 20s through their 30s and into their 40s. They didn't miss a game. Isn't that crazy?
How?
That's nuts. You would think it would be the opposite. You wouldn't miss
Yeah.
a game from 20
And
to
then
30.
you have an injury here, a natty hamstring, or like a shoulder thing, and then
Those guys, ultimate professionals, know how to take care of their body, especially Brent Burns. I mean, he
Yeah.
owns land in Texas that he hunts on. He stocks it with animals so he can hunt, or he calls harvest, so he can harvest the animals. And then he prepares those meats for the season, and he travels. If you ask him, like if you ask anyone, he has a big giant backpack on when he goes traveling. Big giant backpack, couple duffel bags, and it's his food. A lot of it is his food. He takes care of his body.
I missed that.
I mean, there's a reason he's an Iron Man, right? Iron Man streak. So he's amazing, and
Got a deer in there.
he brings
sticking
bison.
out.
He brings all kinds of
Oh,
just
wow,
crazy
okay.
meats out. So good for him.
Have the meats.
He has the meats. So that's cool. That's Thursday at home against Carolina. That'll be a good game. And no Tuesday night game, which is nice.
Oh,
so the
well.
attendance won't be poor.
Okay.
Because it's pretty bad. Saturday at Boston, or versus Boston at home against the Bruins. No Marchand anymore. He got traded to Florida. So they got a little bit less bite, but they got Pasternak, who's on my team. So hopefully we see a hat trick for Pasternak.
Oh, wow. But so, you wanted to lose the game? No, win 4-3, huh? You want the Sharks to win 4-3?
Doesn't matter at this point. The Sharks can win out the season and they'll probably still be last. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
See? Selfish. See? I said I wouldn't mind losing this week. He wants to win. No.
There is a giveaway for this game.
Okay.
Which is cool. It's going to be the Golden State Valkyries flag/cape. I spelled that wrong. That's going to bug me. It's a flag/cape. I guess you can wear it as a cape or you can fly it as a flag.
Okay.
Yeah, and the Golden State Valkyries is the WNBA team that is coming to the Chase Center, right, where the Warriors play. Next season, right?
Yeah, I have a quick rant. So, and not like, again, this is their first season. I'm used to when a team gets their first season, inaugural season, they usually get like the number 1 pick. Right?
Oh, no. What are they getting?
For some reason, I think it's because Joe Lacob, they didn't want to give him the number 1 pick because, all the Warriors winning and all the money and all that stuff. They got the number 5 pick.
5?
Yes. Not 1.
It's not like there's
not 2
4 expansion teams.
No. This is the only one. They got the 5th pick. LA Sparks ahead of them.
Did they put them in a lottery or something?
No.
How did they pick it?
They just slotted them at 5. Then everyone else got to the 1 through 4. I don't understand. Doesn't make any sense.
Did they do an expansion draft where you can protect certain players?
Yeah, they did that whole thing. But how come they wouldn't get the number 1 pick? They could have been getting Page buckets right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they got the number 5 pick. It was locked in. They couldn't go higher.
That's like an instant star power to your team, right? To get you off the ground.
That's what I'm saying. So I think it was because I think if it was a different owner and whatever, I think they're just trying to stick it to Joe Lacob and the Warriors. And yeah, number 5 pick.
I mean, it is the other owners making those decisions, right?
I'm assuming so, and the commissioner and all that. But yeah, Why wouldn't you get the
No,
number
people
one
get
pick?
mad at commissioners. I'm just go off a little rant.
No.
here.
Oh no,
Commissioners are
They-
they're owned. They're an employee of the owners.
Yeah, they have to do.
They're the representative of the owners.
No,
'cause
you're right.
The owners don't want to be the bad guys.
True.
So they hire a
You're
bad
the-
guy.
you're the face.
Yeah, you're the face.
Roger Goodell, get up there.
Nobody gets mad at
Yeah.
us. You
But no,
he's
he's
the bad guy.
You're right. So that whatever they decided, number 5 overall. But the giveaway. Let's go back to something positive.
Yes.
I'm intrigued. Is it a flag or a cape?
It's a flag / cape.
Okay, so maybe for kids they can wear it as a cape, but the adults we can. Okay.
I like their colors too. It's
Oh yeah, the purple,
black and purple.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
like
the
a lilac, kind of like a
Yeah, and then their I don't know what you call it, symbol or logo.
Yeah.
is pretty cool too.
bonker. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I like it. I'm happy. I'm
Yeah.
on
No.
board.
No. I like the colors. I like the name. Strong.
It's about time they got a WNBA team out here. What the? I mean, now there's gonna be a built-in rivalry, obviously, with LA, which would be fun. So it'll be good to go to those games, and
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll check them out too.
Yeah. I'm down. I'm definitely gonna go to the game.
Cool. Well, is there anything else that you want to bring up or?
No, they're in a long
Ramble
homestand.
on?
No, they're in a long home. I mean, I know they only have 2 games this week, but
Yeah.
they close out. They got. I think they play.
They're at 68, so they go to 82.
I feel like they're here for like almost a whole month. Like 3 weeks, they're home.
I'm gonna pull up their schedule real quick, so we can look at the calendar, and
Which is obviously great
Right.
for video as we.
right. Slowly pull this up. So yeah, they're playing. They have another break. No game on Tuesday after the Bruins game, and they're gonna play Toronto and then the Rangers and then the Kings. So they have 3 games in 4 days after that,
Okay.
which is always fun. Like why?
I know. Why can't we
Why
just?
can't you spread that out a
No,
little
no,
bit?
no. We don't.
Scheduler.
We don't have that.
You want to mention the Sharky fight?
Oh, you want me to bring that up?
Quick.
All right. There was a person who tried. Oh, Malachi Shark just asked, "Did y'all tell about the fans
Yeah.
who tried to fight?" Did you see this?
I
You saw
did
the
see
clip?
it. I did see
So I think from reading the comments, it sounded like the guy was sitting in one of those folding chairs.
Yeah.
Not like the normal chair, but
it. Yeah, he
like
was by him. Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
and Sharky sat or jumped on the seat next to him, and I think he got scared and he went backwards and fell out of his chair. And so
Yeah.
his pride was hurt more than anything else, and you could tell he was just one of those guys that
Yeah.
something
Not really.
triggers you.
Yeah,
and you're
not
gonna be
really here for all
aggressor.
the mascot jovial and joking and
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of embarrass you a little bit.
So
and,
he
yeah.
got into Sharky's face
Yeah, I know.
and was wanting to fight him in the middle of the game. And there was a
A mess.
blue coat there
Yeah.
who was telling him to calm
she's like-
down.
yeah, she
and
was-
she did a great job.
Yeah, great.
And she played enough interference that he
Diffuse the
went
situation
away.
enough. You can see Sharky like,
He
hey,
was
what?
like, hey. That's what I normally do
I'm out
at
of
every
this. Have
game,
you not
right?
been here? I usually bite like
Yeah.
kids' head. Yeah.
It was crazy.
2-minute penalty.
It must have been that guy's first Sharks game. Or he just really doesn't like mascots.
Yeah, or just again, I think like you said, his pride was probably hurt. No one.
Probably
ca-
embarrassed, right?
yeah, no one cares that you fall. It's not like you fell on your own because you're
No.
drunk or anything. It was Sharky. He did what mascots do.
It was ridiculous. It's what you don't want to do at a Sharks game if you get embarrassed by Sharky.
Yeah. Because now, I mean, it made like national news, like Sports Illustrated wrote on it. Like, you want to draw more attention to yourself, then yeah, do something like that. As opposed to just playing it off and being like, oh man, you got me. You just gotta eat it. You just gotta eat. Oh man.
I didn't look more into it. I don't even know if he got doxxed or anything, and his job got let know about it. But that usually is what happens when you're on the internet for infamous reasons that you don't want to
Yes.
be. Right.
Yes.
So yeah, that guy probably will never go to a Sharks game again.
I don't want him there.
Yeah.
I don't want him there.
Oh, Malachi said, I heard he tried to say Sharky bumped him and knocked over his drink. That's still not how you act if Sharky happened to bump your drink.
He will get you a new drink.
Yeah.
Capital
A
punishment.
shark or Buddha.
Yeah.
Capital punishment. No. Call
Peter
back.
St. John said, I've been punched by Sharky twice on 2 separate occasions. Peter, you probably deserved it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, just kidding.
And he's still standing.
Did you punch him back? No, I don't think you did. All right. Well, I think that's about it. Any other things that you saw in there? Jay, did you see anything else that I missed that you want me to... Ugh. Darnay is very
Darnay.
scary, man.
He's huge.
He's very scary.
real fast. There were
Yeah.
like a few fights. There were a few,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nashville. No, there was. Yeah. Gaudreau fought back to back.
Oh, no, Gregor fought. Did you see that?
Yeah. I saw all the fights.
Well,
yeah.
He fought.
Yeah.
He participated
yes.
in a fight.
He dropped the gloves and
Yes.
got a penalty for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. They Yeah, I think there was 2 in the Nashville game. One in the Blackhawks. I think every game had a fight.
Yeah.
At least 2. Tom Wilson had a fight. Oh, God.
Yeah, if you're not going to win, throw the gloves.
Just throw them.
Right?
Just throw them.
Just do something.
We're still here. We're here. We're fighting.
Yes, do something. Yeah, Darnay, though, I think he's going to be a good defenseman.
You see what Paul said?
I'm there, we go over an hour. I'm not there, we go over an hour. It's Aaron. Aaron is the culprit. Yes.
He's the common factor.
Yes, absolutely. We'd be here for another half an hour if Paul was here.
True.
Yeah.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Get on with it.
Yes, get on with it.
And on that note,
Get on with it.
For Super Producer Jason, I'm Aaron.
and I'm Devereaux.
And we will see you next week.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you like this episode, check out our other content, especially interviews. You can interact with us directly through social media at The Fin Factor and on Instagram at Fin Factor. And don't forget to join our live streams on YouTube.
Visit our website at thefinfactor.com, where you'll find all of our episodes as videos or podcasts.